Yeah. Okay. Hello, is anybody there? I'm having trouble hearing anything.
I can see you. Can you hear us now?
I can now, thank you. Hello, everybody.
He's in Mexico?
I think so. That's right.
That I am.
Can I come too?
You sure? Got an extra bed for you.
Started.
Yeah, and then when she comes in.
Sure.
It's supposed to snow.
Okay, it's 4:03 and the meeting is called to order. And the first item is approval of minutes for January 9th, 2023. Has everybody been able to read those? Are there any corrections?
I have a couple of points. Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little louder.
I have a couple points. I have a point on the chronology. I said something, the nomination of Dana prior to when she chimed in after that. Plus, I had, rather than the Visit St. Helens website that I'd discussed, I was in the minutes, it says the Visit St. Helens site instead of the city website. I'm saying it's, both, we'd have both of them, so rather than instead. So it's just a couple of points, small points. Thank you.
And I actually have a couple of changes that I'd like to make. And it's on page 4, under discussion items and the last paragraph. And it said, Tepper stated that he thought accounting staff works on grants, and actually he said planning. And then on,
You're correcting something that you thought Buck said.
yeah, that's it, because you mentioned Jenny as well. Okay. Yeah. And then on the paragraph, the last paragraph on page 5 says, Pettit, and then I would like to say suggested CCing commissioners on items submitted before they are added to the official agenda. And I'll send you those corrections after the meeting. Thank you. That's it for me. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as read?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as read.
Is there any other discussion? Have any
Seconded.
All right. All in favor of
Aye.
passing the minutes for January 9th?
Aye.
Say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
The minutes have been approved as changed, amended for January 9th. And I'm turning the meeting over to our chair, Dana Lathrop.
Hi, thank you so much. All right, do we have any visitor comments? Nope, hearing none, we're moving on to new business. Bylaws proposed to commission.
That's a copy of the bylaws that were sent out. Okay, and they're what was discussed in our December meeting.
Okay, perfect. And is there anything to discuss on these updates and changes to the bylaws?
Basically, just the name
Yeah.
Anyway,
of recreation.
Correct. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. All right, well, if there's no more questions or comments regarding the bylaw changes, we can move on. We will
We
be,
need to vote on that or?
I don't think so, because that was a change that was
Okay.
already made.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we're not doing anything.
we approved that.
Mhm. And so this is really just reviewing.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna skip, I guess, 3, 4, and 5. Counselor Berkeley is not with us.
No, and he did have a handout
Okay.
that he provided
Oh, okay, perfect.
for Godfrey.
Did you want to review that at all? If you're planning on coming and speaking at another meeting? Oh,
So we might want to review that and then talk about that next meeting.
okay, great. So then, if you guys would like to review, this is the handout from Patrick, yeah, okay. And then we'll be discussing Godfrey Park plans then at our next meeting. Okay. All right, well then, let's talk a little bit about the schedule for park update presentations. What I'd like to do is have a nice kind of planned out for the year. I know we worked on that for last year, making sure that each month we're touching a different park. And so here are, on our last page here, these are the parks that are assigned to commissioners. So there's 14 parks on our list. And so we may have to double up a couple of the parks per meeting. And then for the parks that have a couple of people on them, like McCormick Park, Sand Island, the Botanical Gardens, Columbia View, I'd like to discuss who out of the people who are overseeing those parks plan to do the park updates for those. So for those in attendance, are there any months in specific that you would like to do your presentations?
And we'll do mine in March.
Okay, great. So Len will do yours in March, and that will be for Dalton Lake and Walnut Tree.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sand Island, I definitely think should be during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to talk about my park, the Civic Park part, maybe in April,
Okay,
so that I could get some input.
fantastic. So Lauren will do April.
I'll do May for Nob Hill.
May. I don't remember what month last year I did. Campbell Park. Was that in July?
You're in July.
So I'll probably do July again, just to keep it annual. And
Sand Island, we'll do August.
yeah, that'll work. And I'll do Great Cliffs also in July.
6th Street I can do in June.
So
Fall
we're
season.
gonna be June. And we'll do Sand Island, you said in August. Okay. So for our May, June, July, August, so September meeting.
Was this gonna be just an annual presentation, just one presentation a year, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Just as an update and a review on our parks, if there's any big changes or if there's any proposed plans moving forward for each of the parks, just so we touch base once a year.
Okay.
For our parks.
Okay.
Can we roll the BMX skate park and McCormick into one, since it's one park?
Probably.
Can we just do that one day, like Paul does his part, I do my part, and you do your part, and
And
Yeah,
what did you already propose a month for the Campbell?
we
What's
have
that?
not
Oh, you have not. Okay.
for McCormick Park.
Yeah. For McCormick Park.
Let's do that in September,
Okay.
unless you think, well, because I think we're filled up between then.
When's your BMX season, Paul?
Well, usually between May and September. So that's why I was kind of asking, you know, I mean, if I did it now, it would be like, oh, here's what we got planned for the year. If I do it later, I guess it would be here's what we did for the year kind of thing. So it depends on when it is that would, you know, and I can always touch on, even if it's like in September, I could touch on, here's what we propose to do or what we would like to see done, you know, down there or whatever, you know, here's some ideas or whatever. So either way, it'll be probably put it together as a inventory of what we've done and what we plan to do, I guess. Kind of an outline. I don't know if we had a kind of a basic outline of what we're looking to report on, but that sounds kind of like what
Tell us how it went, and you know what changes that people have talked to you about.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. You know, that was kind of what I was thinking. So sure.
Perfect. Does Suzanne have her hand raised? Suzanne?
Well, I was thinking, wasn't there's a presentation that our commission has to annual report that we do to the city council every year, right?
Yes, and that is in June.
And there's an outline of what the city council is looking for. So it seems like if we're making these presentations individually, we should probably try to at least hit on whatever those questions are that the city council is questioning, or the questions that they have. It's a little questionnaire. I think I've seen it. It's been a while since I've looked at one, but is that correct?
That would be the best plan. I think so.
And then that way, whoever's making the final presentation to the city would have, it would be easier to put it together if it was kind of, if they were all kind of.
Yeah,
Anyway.
absolutely. Okay, Suzanne, did you have a question? Your hand is raised. Can you unmute?
My apologies, that was an error. I do not have a question. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right.
So can we, is that form that, format that the city is asking for annually? Is that something we can have emailed out maybe in the next packet or something, or?
Okay. So, I haven't seen a structured format that the council has required for the meeting. I can look back and I'll review the Parks Commission presentation from last year anyway. I plan to, so I could get a refresher for this year. I also sent out a PowerPoint for when I did Campbell Park, but I'm a bit of an overachiever. So I think keeping it somewhere, again, mostly with updates, any big changes, any big plans. And if you'd like, I can kind of work up a template and send it out to everybody for our next meeting to approve. If you guys prefer a more structured,
Well, I can find the one that the city sent me. So I know
Okay.
when I made the presentation, there was a form that they sent out that listed some stuff in there, some basic stuff or whatever that they wanted to see or hear about. So I can find that and get that out to everybody, I guess.
Yeah, if you could find that and send that to me, because I haven't seen anything like that.
Okay.
Thank you. I just love the PowerPoints. I'm a bit of it. All right, so we have, this is February, so we have March, April, May, June, July, oh, we don't have a June. No, we did have a June, July, August, September. So let's do for October.
Bob Hill, since they do Halloween town there.
Well, no, I was gonna do mine in May.
How about Scott do his yes.
Tiny human.
Columbia View.
Yeah, that's still I'm still discussing things with Tina and all that about Columbia View. And I'd like to get Lauren up to date on it too, because she's also assigned to it just recently. So,
Would you
if
be
good,
comfortable if we did Columbia View and Heine Human in October?
Honey, human's fine. I mean, what about Lauren too? If since she's assigned to it, is she all right with October for Columbia View?
That, I think that you could catch me up by then.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's quite a while away.
I speak very slowly.
And I know Jerry's not here, but if we could do Godfrey and the Botanical Gardens for November, and then we'll take a break for December, and then we can plan then next year's calendar. Does that sound good for everybody? Okay.
Sounds doable.
I don't think that's anything we need to vote on. All right.
And we're just looking after like about a 5-10 minute
Yeah.
description of the park or something.
I like it before we go. That walk. What would they like to see different? What would they like to see changed? What's the good things there, stuff like that.
Yeah. I did a huge one for my first presentation as I was getting to know my park and getting to know my role. This year, when I update for like Hubbleburg is gonna be real quick.
Oh yeah, first year I did McCormick, I did the lower part, upper part, the middle part.
Yeah.
As a parent, I love the benches.
I can send you something about the update for the Japanese gardens, because we started that, but we want to continue working on that. So, and Jerry and Dana both want to work on that too, so we'll just, get some in there for you.
That's what it's text,
All right.
no meaning else.
Any more questions or anything on the schedule for our park update presentations? All right, moving on. Let's chat a little bit about Citizens Day in the park for this year. It was really fun last year. I'm super excited to do it again this year. I was hoping to chat with you guys about what you would like to do. If anybody had any plans already in place, any suggestions?
Well, I can go ahead and bring the canopy this year again, and I've also got our banner.
Okay,
It says Parks and Trails.
I have a nice tank canopy too, if you guys want to use it.
great,
90% of the time I'm at work, so. that'll be your tent.
great. Now, what day is it this year? Do we know for sure?
Somewhere. Yeah.
June 20th, something like that.
17th?
My calendar, well, shoot, I can look that up faster.
June 7th, shoot. No, wrong.
That's the parade.
Right, this is the parade.
June.
Real.
Not all my stuff comes up on my phone.
I should have that.
With all this technology,
Right?
come on. Okay, I'll look at
My
that.
technology,
Oh, flip phone.
yeah.
She's old school, she's even old school, more old as.
June 24th, from 11 to 2.
Okay,
I don't
great.
wanna use it any more than I got to.
All I use, I don't use a computer and.
11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, so who all,
What day is that?
the June
24th.
24th, 11 to 2, who all is planning on attending this year?
If I'm pretty sure I'll be available, I just have to double check my schedule.
Okay,
If I'm not working, I'll come down, but
okay,
And I'm just not sure I'll be torn between you guys and if the Watershed Council has a table like last year.
Yeah, you
You
can
know,
hop.
right?
I'll be there. I'm just not sure which table I'll be at. Too bad they're not next to each other.
sell out.
I think it would be a lot of fun to have a little something about the Japanese garden this year.
Mhm.
Brandon, do you think you could, oh, you're not on the commission anymore, you're council person, I guess. Do you have some, a little bit of history and information that we might be able to put together a presentation for Citizens Day about the Japanese garden?
Yeah, I've got what I've collected and I can get it put together.
Excuse me, that would be a lot of fun.
I wonder if we could give some way of directions or a small tour that day of the garden.
That would be
That'd be
really
good.
lovely.
You know, I don't know that much about, so I'm not volunteering to do that, but it'd be a good way to possibly drum up support for it.
Yeah.
Brandon, could you bring that game that you had also, the history game, basically?
Yeah, I'll have to dig it up, but I'm sure I've got it saved somewhere.
Okay, great.
That was excellent. I loved that. Well, I plan to be there all day this year. I'll schedule myself free. And so I'd like to come down probably between 9:30, start setting up and get everything ready. Mhm.
And I've got a table I can bring to again.
Fantastic.
If I can, you just let me know.
I anticipate being there for the whole period, and I also have a table if you need.
Awesome.
Open the doors, you know.
Oh, that would be
Table and chairs if we need, do we need those here?
probably at least for whomever would like to sit and be present.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll bring two.
bring another table. I've got one table I bring.
Great. So then this year's focus will be talking a little bit about Japanese garden, maybe talking about some volunteer opportunities in the park, I think would be really great. Encouraging the public to come and do work parties and whatnot. And then just being present. I love that history game, Brandon, please, that was fantastic.
I wonder if we should try to have some type of, although some of us are last minute planners, but maybe have, we know that there's certain work parties that are gonna happen.
Yeah,
Maybe we could have a sheet or a handout at that time for people who are there.
For any work parties
Something on a
coming up.
board that just says upcoming volunteer opportunity.
oh, that would be great.
What I did last year is I had out a sheet that said, would you like to volunteer for a park? Well, some people they wanted to volunteer for only one park.
Yeah.
And then some said any, so you keep adding to that.
Probably should have
list.
both those things there.
I agree.
You have one with like every park on it, see who wants to add.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I would love that to have
And then
a,
whoever's responsible for the park, get in touch with them and talk to them.
absolutely.
That's a good idea.
I think that's great. Okay, fun. So I'd like to revisit, just to touch base on Citizens Day again in May. So I'd like to talk about it at our May meeting, just to fine tune plans, see if anybody has anything to update. And if you have anything in the meantime, please let me know. All right. Any further questions, comments, or discussion about Citizens Day in the park?
Oh, I was gonna say, I'll be there all day, but I've got I usually have a tent set up there for the shop as well. So I'll be back and forth, maybe be able to help out when I can or help set up and that kind of stuff. I will be there all day, so.
So, we're looking to fancier tent.
Yeah.
Okay, well then moving moving on to the park municipal code.
Okay, that was just mainly that, some interesting things popped up that we did have a citizen put off. Was trying to imply that we may not have had an enforceable leash law in St. Helens.
Okay.
And that was resulting into the municipal code. And it is a hair vague in there. Um, I'm just gonna read you one thing real quick.
Okay,
Animals at large should be unlawful for an owner to permit either by negligence or by intention any animal to run at large except domestic cats and birds. Nonsense or dogs shall be allowed to be off leash for play and exercise purposes. Areas designated as McCormick Park off leash area, and that goes into the resolution number. But with all that talk, it brought up a very interesting thing. Most of our code there are all just for off-leash dog parks. All it mentions is McCormick Park. And so I'm wondering if our municipal code doesn't need to be updated
yeah,
to include Great Cliffs
Yes.
and what Honey Human, you know. And then I was hoping Patrick was gonna be here to see, I don't know if Brandon's heard anything. I mean, I don't know where that went with the city, if we needed to talk about trying to beef up off-leash laws.
Yeah.
I know also, though, in different parts of the municipal code, some of the older code calls for a 6-foot leash in our parks. And then somehow that's become 16 foot.
Mm.
And so I'm not sure if there's a void in there. I personally would be in favor more of 6 foot in a park rather than 16 feet, because if you're in a nature area or something, that's a long ways for an animal. That's 16, that's almost a 32-foot circle, no matter where the dog is.
Now, I have a question. What municipal code is this?
There's some of it goes into parks. That's why almost every time I start looking it up online, you can go to a different area and find a slightly different version of it, you know what I mean? And so that's why somebody in some parts of it could read it and start to split hairs on some of the way the words are,
right.
you know, but this person was trying to say that, your dog didn't need to, but I've seen the dog as much as 100, 150 feet behind the gentleman.
Yeah,
And to me, at that time, the dog isn't under any control if your back is turned to the dog that's that far away. And so that's why I just wanted to make sure that this code is strong enough that it doesn't let people do that.
would you be okay if we took some time to review those codes?
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know if we can ask the city to print the sections that would be prudent to us to review, or if we could get a
Could we have those?
number of what they go to.
Yeah, because we have 1 through 8, but I don't see it on here. So I was wondering if it was a different code. I mean, for something different.
This one I'm seeing is at 6.04.040,
Oh, that's not our.
which is prohibited activities, I mean, it even goes into talking about chasing of wildlife and stuff, where we've had somebody one time in the park actually admit they let their dog go to chase the deer in the park.
Oh,
So would this be a city code under?
I don't know what it, I couldn't tell you what it'd be under.
That's why I was hoping Patrick was gonna be here, because he was writing with a code enforcement officer one day and we were having to talk about it, so I just don't. And he wasn't at the city council meeting.
Brandon, do you know anything about this, where we'd find that?
Well, I was just gonna add, so I'm no expert on this, but just looking into the municipal code, so there's a section 8.24.190 rules and regulations relating to city parks. So there is a section 4 in there relating to animals, and this is what it says. It says, except as provided herein, pets are prohibited from being at large in any city park. For purposes of this section, at large means not on a leash as set forth herein. Pets are permitted in city parks unless otherwise posted, only if they are on a leash that is 6 feet or less in length. So to me, that makes it pretty clear.
yeah,
It does, but I swear that we've had places when I was into it with the police officer that day, somewhere it says 16-foot leash. So we have a discrepancy in the length of the leash also in our.
you don't know where that is.
I don't
I say
know.
if you can find that, Howard, let me know and I'll look into it too. And I'll look in the meantime too and see if I can find anything that says anything
Okay.
different.
And I'll take some time and review them as well. And so then, so we can
Revisit it next month.
revisit it next month. And then if we have any specific changes we'd like to request, then we can do so at that time.
Yeah, because I think we. Yeah.
Sorry, just so everybody knows, that 16-foot leash law is in 6.04.040 subsection 6, where it talks about pets in city parks.
Could you say those numbers just a little bit slower for me so I can write them down?
604-040, and it's subsection 6.
Perfect.
Yeah, so there's, a few discrepancies in there that we probably need to.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we can go through, we can review them, find anything that maybe doesn't match up, and then make suggestions for edits at our next meeting, if that works.
Great, that'd be great.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments regarding the municipal code? Okay, moving on. Any old business? No. Okay. And then did the park assignments update then?
Yeah, we did that last month.
Okay,
And so I printed that out and everybody got a copy.
Perfect.
Got a copy. And I believe Melissa has a copy of the new park updates.
for who's
From
responsible
last
for each park? All right, and then is there anyone who wants to make any changes to the parks that they have at this time? Or is there anyone who feels that they need a little bit more help with their parks at this time?
Always need more help with Sand Island, it's just Howard.
Yeah.
So,
One was on McCormick, so that's good. Sixth Street's just a field, basically.
Yeah, right.
BMX parks,
by the way, have you got any help on those fields? Did they grade those?
I have not been over to check.
Okay. So
Last time I was over there, they were mostly grass.
what does the parks do over at Sand Island? What are we responsible for?
We just always toured it and checked it out. We,
Make sure it's
Yeah,
clean and.
fun field trip.
I think it's mostly Brad now. All that over.
Okay.
Speaking of,
So we might need to change that so that.
So we just Howard and I went over, we all went over.
You all did.
COVID then.
It was awesome.
I thought that was very neat to occasionally go over there ourselves
Yeah.
and see what the status is. It is
Oversee it.
still a city park.
Yeah.
Let me look into that, make sure.
So I was gonna say, I really liked the idea of the field trips, the groups running out and checking out the different parks. And that is something that I would also like to do more often during the clear weather months. And so if you have a park and you would like to have a field trip to your park, I would love for you to suggest it and that we could try to come up with days that coordinate with most of us to get out there and do some field trips. I think
Well,
that
I would definitely say they do that sandcastle competition at Sand Island, they get to go again that.
Yes.
And Howard and I, we talked to the people that were in charge of it.
Yeah,
The lady was really nice, her husband, they talked to us for a half hour.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And it was neat because some of the artwork was already
The
started.
artwork was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so sad I missed it during COVID.
I got a picture of Jerry posing in front of some of the.
I have a bit of a question about the Sand Island. About a month ago, I think Brandon also noted it, if I recall correctly. They're doing some construction over there, and I don't know what it is that's happening over there. Does anybody know what's going on?
Oh,
Were they talking about yurts or something?
they're talking about little cabins. Yeah. So we should check that out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Could that be what you saw?
It could be. It's from a distance, so I'm not sure. Did you also mention that, Brandon? Or note it?
A recent meeting where they noted that it was a couple weeks ago, probably, they noted that the cabins were coming up, and I was just surprised that that was the first that I've heard of cabins coming up. So I think it goes back to all of the discussions we've had about communication, is that even if we don't have a say in some particular things, it would be important for the commission to at least be notified of major things like cabins going up in a city park. So
That's true.
I think there was some mentioning of it. I know it went to the planning commission and stuff. So, but more communication is always better. So I kind of heard that there was something going on that way.
I mean, just something notified to our commission, just saying we're starting construction there or
Yeah.
something to that effect.
All right. Any further questions on the parks assignment update? Okay, staff report.
Yeah, let me start by saying, what you're looking for exactly out of a staff report, since I'm new to all this. You know,
Well, when Shauna was doing it, she expressed most information regarding like the recreation side of it, because that's really where a lot of things were kind of moving and shaking.
Sure.
I think for parks and trails staff report, things that I would love to know personally, this is just me, I can't speak for all the other commissioners. I would really like to know if you are aware of any big changes in any of the parks, any planned installations in any of the parks, or anything that has happened recently. I'm very trying to do work on vandalism and whatnot in the park, so I'd like to be aware if there's been any recent increase or changes in acts of vandalism. Also, even though we're all out kind of doing our part being present in the parks, since you and your crew are out there all the time, if there's areas where you feel, hey, this area could use a bit of love, do you want to schedule a work party for this particular location? I'd love to hear that too, in case I miss it, because you guys are our feet on the ground.
Or new processes.
Or new
that we're
processes.
developing, too.
Or do you have a project going into one of the parks that if you're not quite sure we've heard about it yet, let us
yeah, I mean, I've got some things that we've done that I'm trying to improve upon as far as our maintenance, mainly is what I'm focusing on right now.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but all the white poles at Campbell Park that were 2 feet out of the ground that were rotten are all gone. We have to mow around those every time we mow, so we pulled every one of them out, filled them, seed them. Another thing we did to try to streamline our mowing, because once it grows, it goes crazy, we can't keep up. But we pulled all the white rocks that were half white and half weren't at McCormick Park.
Okay.
Those are all pulled, so some people had concerns of cars driving out there, and I kind of went with the, let's pull it and see what happens.
I saw the big pile of rocks.
Yeah, those have been relocated now. And the telephone poles that we used as stops are all removed. And my goal is to dig out of our budget somewhere enough money to buy enough parking stops, the concrete curb stops, and line the entire parking lot at McCormick with them, because they're cleaner. We don't have to move them to mow around them. We don't have to weed eat around them. They stop the cars. It's simpler. So that's one of our things.
Quick question, is that something that can also be done at Campbell Park? Because they have those rocks and whatnot too, next to
Absolutely.
bathroom facilities?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and as far as everything else, it's been simple stuff like trimming trees, so where mowers go under them this spring and this summer, because we wait till then, it's too late. We gotta get on mowers when we go and just be able to cruise. We did put Lynn's park bench up today that she wanted changed. We've done a lot of cleaning up around our shop still. That's the shop at McCormick. Went on a little tour with Howard at Nob Hill Park. Got a lot of info out of that. Jerry did meet with me about his urban trail that he loves so much, and he found concreted stamps to use as signs instead of a post I would have to mow around, because I really kind of got on him about that. I don't like that idea. And they're cool looking. I mean, we can do them ourselves. We can buy a stamp for probably less than $100 and have whatever logo you want on them, stamp them, put them in the ground, and we just mow right over them. And they're nice looking. He found those in Longview, so that's cool.
Perfect. I just want to say to that, thank you. We met after you did that and we had a great meeting. We were so excited because we had a place to start now. And we had some new ideas to get us started. Thank you.
Cool. Other things we're looking at that you might want to know about is Walnut Tree Park. I talked to Lynn about this. Nobody knew we had power at Walnut Tree Park. We pay almost $500 a year to have a power pole there and meter. So I talked to Lynn. She knows the people who take care of it. And it seems that we've come to a consensus, pull the meter, save $500 a year. So as long as you guys, I don't see any reason no one ever uses it. It's locked. My crew didn't even know it was there.
Okay.
So nobody uses it. It's a waste of money. What is the other one? Oh, at Campbell Park, I got another quote from the PUD about the rotting or aging light poles.
Yeah.
And those are not cheap. For 4 poles is $5,500, and that does not include an electrician to go up, remove the lights, remove the wires, switch them from pole to pole. The electrician's gonna be probably at least triple the price of the poles. So that's something I'm looking into. I did learn though that we can have PUD come out, disable the power from there. We can bring our genie boom in when the ground is hard enough, get up in the air, limb the trees away from the backstops, away from the lights. And that's nice because normally we can't be that close to power lines energized. So, and they said they'll do that for free. So that's a good deal. And the plan is to do that at 6th Street also. I don't like those trees in the backstop. It's gonna start screwing them up. We're not looking to butcher trees. We just wanna get them away from stuff that's gonna cost us money. And I am meeting with the PUD and Peak Electric Wednesday at 10:30 at McCormick Park to look into electrical power for Citizens Day, for vendors. We wanna have it set up kind of like the plaza and back there, set up to where it works and doesn't break. Breakers don't pop all the time. That's gonna be expensive too, so we gotta look into where we're getting the money for that. But that is something that I know that the council wants done, the mayor wants done. So hopefully I can get a quote for that and then we can get creative with financing for that. And that will be, I think the power will be mostly down at the bottom towards the restroom, but they have to put in a whole new service because the one that we have won't hold what we need. So that's something else that's going on. Let's see what else do I have. Other than that, it's the daily grind.
Great.
Yeah, oh, also we have a lot of interest in, I'm gonna forget his name. He's really smart, knows everything about plants, Chip. I talked to Chip today and he is going to help a lot of our employees, it sounds like at least 6 or 7 of them to get their spray license in the state, so that's a good thing. We don't have one now and it's good for them to learn, so we can do that properly, so that's a good deal. And it's good our guys actually showed interest in it, so that was exciting for
Awesome.
us.
Yeah, that's good.
Extension agent.
Oh, yeah, unless you guys got questions for me,
No, I think that was great.
Basically, that's what we have.
Nice to hear.
right? Nailed it.
I have a question.
Oh, someone has a question.
I have a question. You're saying you're getting power into McCormick Park. Where would that be in relation to the area that has the awning over the top? By the Veterans Memorial?
Oh, by the Veterans Memorial.
Oh, by the veterans?
Yeah,
I believe it's gonna be deeper towards the bathrooms, but I don't know if we're gonna have it spread out to different areas. I don't know that yet. That's gonna be some things that would be nice, but also things that are gonna raise the cost dramatically. So I'll know more after I talk to him Wednesday and I'll plan these questions out and see from John and the mayor and if they can find out from council what they're looking for sure. And then I'll report back on that, of course, so.
okay. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, so, any other questions before we move on from our staff? For our staff? Okay,
Did you ask Brandon if he had a report? He's our park liaison.
I was just moving on to the counselor's report. Brandon, do you have a report?
Yeah, just real brief. So first off, sorry for not being there. I woke up feeling cruddy this morning and thought I'd keep it to myself. So just first off, just thank you everyone again for your dedication, for all the good work that you guys do. As city council, we had a meeting last week and a good part of that meeting was talking about city commissions and how they function and how they can be more effective. So if you have ideas on how this commission can be more effective or how the city council can help you to be more effective or have the tools that you need to be successful, please feel free to send my way and let me know. So many city commissions have just kind of fizzled out over the years just because there wasn't enough interest or there wasn't enough volunteers to keep them going. That hasn't happened with the Parks Commission. So it's great to see all the good work that you guys do and just such a dedicated group. And I'm glad that I still get to be a part of it some way. So just a few things that we talked about as you are going forward. Please just try to be mindful of staff time as you're having your meetings. Try to be respectful of each other's time, but also especially staff time. A lot of these people who have to stay late and stay over to make sure that these meetings are running smoothly. We've talked about this before too, but if at all possible, please try to get things on the agenda so that your chair knows kind of how long things are going to go and what areas might need more time. Those are the big things, but yeah, just be respectful of each other's time and staff's time. You guys do so much good work though, so we appreciate it. So again, thank you to you guys. Thank you to Buck and your crew for all the good work that you're doing. I think we're going to see a lot of improvements in the parks over the next coming months, and that's exciting to see. So keep up the good work. And as always, let me know if I can help you with anything.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandon. All right, is there any other business that we would like to discuss today? Yes.
Real quickly. March 4th, we have a work party coming up for the 5th Street right-of-way trail. We're going to meet at the kiosk across from the sewage treatment plant, and we're going to work for 2 hours, 1 to 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. That's March the 4th. And then April the 1st, we have our semi-annual work party in Nob Hill itself, and we're going to meet at the kiosk once again, 1 to 3. We've decided that's just a good amount of time to do stuff.
1 to 3 also for the 5th Street right away?
Yes. We're gonna got some gravel in. We're also found out that Lynn had the wrong color bench at her park, so we actually have another bench to put in, and so we've identified a couple more spots, so places that we're going to be adding more benches to Nob Hill so that they're almost kind of evenly spaced, I want to say, in there for somebody who needed to sit down every so often, you know. So that's all real neat. We're still in there every weekend right now, pulling weeds and stuff for a few hours on Saturdays and Sundays and stuff.
Howard, what was the date again on the work party?
For the 5th Street right-of-way trail, March 4th, which is the first Saturday in March, and April 1st for in Nob Hill.
Okay, thank you.
You know, so that all looks really good. I've only got one other thing I'll say here. We were talking about Brandon was saying keep staff time good. I think if we ever have somebody like Jenny or somebody come in, that we should always put them fairly close to the top of the agenda so that they get in and out. I think Buck kind of needs to be here for the meeting, our secretary. Some of the other people that we have come in sometimes, I think we should always make sure that we can keep them at the top of
I agree.
the list to get them in and out quickly.
I think that's great.
That's all I have to report on there.
I did have one thing that I heard, a comment about whether or not there was any dirt being put at 6th Street ball fields. I think I heard that.
Yeah.
Was I made that up? Just so you know, at McCormick Park, Nick Sorber with Little League has put turfus down. He came and talked to us about that. And they have one field about 3/4 of the way covered right now. We'll be bringing more in. He's also going to be bringing some material in for the 6th Street ballpark here within a week, I would bet.
The turf is on the two field?
Turfus is on the McCormick softball fields,
Oh,
which,
softball.
yeah, Little League is going to be using. They're hoping to get those fields to drain better and use them for that. And it looks like it's gonna help a bunch. So yeah, there is some progress going on there.
Awesome.
Okay,
Any
I have
other business?
I have
Scott?
a little bit of news, I guess, about Columbia View Park. I've been in contact with Tina Curry. We're still both concerned about the siding of the stage, so we're trying to, get a better resolution to it than what it is right now. So just wanted to keep you updated on that. Also, if Lauren, if you could get my number and text me, I could update you a little bit on that too.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay, I just want to say on that note, I talked to Tina Curry about the t-shirts that she brought to the commission, and she says she's in the process of getting that all worked out.
Okay.
Pretty soon.
Do you have an update time?
I asked her about
that.
it. Yeah, I asked her that and she didn't have time.
Okay, perfect, no worries.
So maybe next month. But anyway, I want to let you know that Dalton Preserve had no dedicated parking. And for a long time, we were hoping to get some spot right on Oregon Street where the kiosk is, but there was a lot of blackberries and a lot of holes, you know, where they're collecting a lot of water, that kind of thing. So we had a work party on the 21st. And we cleared out most of the blackberries. It was sleeting and snowing and it was amazing. And Howard was there and there was actually 4 of us really dedicated. So then a couple days later, Beck says, well, would you like us to clear out the rest of the blackberries? And I says, you can, yes, go right ahead. So he took the rest of the blackberries out with his work crew, put some dirt down and some gravel and made some nice spots.
Yeah, it's looking really nice.
Yeah, it's not quite done yet,
But compared to what it was.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you so much for that, Beth.
It's still not been done.
Oh, it's beautiful.
All right, I'll take it anytime, okay?
We say that was.
When we have time.
All right.
And that was so nice working with Greg on that because we had a review person. So when I got tired with the brush cutter, I just handed it off to him and
Then it returns.
we were able to take turns. The newer machine has a bigger gas tank and it lasts longer, which sometimes is good. And sometimes you don't get as many breaks.
Nice.
Might have to be after baseball season because we're getting ready to start with high school.
Oh, okay, well, you just let me know. Okay. Got some changes there, so I'll report on that next month.
Perfect. All right, there's no other business. Then regarding action items, if anyone who is inclined to wants to take a look at those municipal codes between now and next month, and see if there's anything that you need or that you would like to suggest for changes. Or if you see any errors or discrepancies in there, that way we can bring it back and talk about that next month.
Can I ask a question on that? When we do the agenda, could you actually put the different code numbers on it then so we could ourselves, if we don't have a handout, we could at least go into the code and find where we were talking about some of it as reference. In case I didn't write my numbers down right, that type of thing.
Sure. So you'd like to do a breakdown of each of the codes? Do you want to just do like a
Just a
full?
reference number of where it would be,
Okay.
the code numbers.
Okay.
You got the 604040 subsection 6, right?
Right.
Perfect. Okay, and then also moving forward, think about days if you'd like to have field trips at your parks and bring them back. That'll be your other like homework. Anything else?
Ever done a field trip to like walk the golf course?
All right,
We should do that. It's a nice walk.
it is.
I've only been to Campbell, I think, once, because I don't have kids on that. So I'd like to go and actually see everything they have there. I had an idea.
I would love to have you guys over there too and look at those buildings and also kind of see, specifically at Campbell Park, one of the trouble areas there is the fact that the playground and whatnot is so hidden. Yeah, and so I'd love to walk that with you guys and talk about suggestions on what we can do to moving forward to kind of cut down.
Reach out to us for a date.
Will do. I'll put that on I will plan a field trip. All right, well, if nobody else has anything, we might.
I do have a suggestion about the
Yes.
field trips.
Yes.
There's some of the smaller parks, we could just do them all in aggregate. Doing a field trip to Honeyhuman would, that's gonna probably just last about 10 minutes altogether. So, I
Right.
mean, if we could do a few altogether at one time, that'd be,
6-3 will be just like a drive-by and you'll see the whole water.
yeah,
Not human either.
yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have 2 fields and there, you got nothing else.
5 minutes along.
All right, anything else? Okay, hearing nothing else, then we can adjourn the meeting before 5 PM.
Gonna last for what, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 10 minutes?
Yeah, well, we had a lot on our plate.
Everybody take care.
All right.
Bye. They're somewhere in Mexico, I think Oaxaca.
Till December.
I mean, we have
We're at.
It was beautiful, except for the first weekend, we were there for 3 weeks. The first week we were there, the highest it got